Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Annie and this is Unity Consciousness. Today we're going to be discussing the energy that will be prominent this week, beginning the 13th of December today and rolling through the weekend. So this week is going to bring some changes for us that are going to be motivational. So we've got two planets that are changing signs. We've got two minor aspect days as opposed to big shifting energy days. And then we've got a full moon at the end of the week and also Venus is going to officially go retrograde. So let's get started. This week, or excuse me, today, the 13th, we've got Mars, which is going to enter Sagittarius. Mars left Scorpio, moving into the sign of Sagittarius, which is a mutable fire sign. As you know, Mars is aggressive, but it's also our desires, things that we are absolutely motivated to do or to act. It's action, it's moving. So these two energies combined, and with Mars stepping into Sagittarius, we are going to want to be adventurous and we're going to want to travel. Sagittarius is all about travel and being adventurous, but also speaking our minds, that's for sure, but it's also very optimistic. And so you can expect that that optimistic attitude is going to drive our wants and our needs. We are going to be motivated to do things that are fun and that expand our horizons, so to speak, especially if they have to do with travel or with others in different locations. Also on this day, today, we've got Mercury moving into Capricorn. At the time that I checked the astrological chart before I started this video, Mars has already entered Sagittarius and Mercury has not yet entered Capricorn, but it will over the course of the day today. So Capricorn is earth energy, and it is cardinal energy, which means it wants to start something. Cardinal energy it wants to create, it wants to do, it wants to initiate or instigate things. And earth energy, which is very grounded. So we can expect our communications to be very practical. It's good time to write out those Christmas cards or holiday greetings of whatever kind, email, whatever. It's good for communication on a practical level. And also our thoughts. This is Mercury. So it's our thoughts have become much more practical will become more practical during this time. And the plans that we've had that have been really scattered kind of all over the place, now we're going to be able to pull things together and move forward, instigating things using that cardinal energy that are crystal clear and grounded. So that is today. Then on on Thursday, we've got a minor aspect day. So this is going to be the sun, which is in Sagittarius, is going to semi-square Saturn in Aquarius. So be flexible on this day and open to any shifts in your personal direction. This is an opportunity for Saturn to redirect you in an area where you might have stepped off the path just a little. This is a minor aspect day, so you may not even feel this energy, but if you do get redirected onto a path that's just slightly different than the one you're on, accept that change and move forward with it. Then also on the same day, we've got Sun in Sagittarius, which is going to semi-sextile Pluto. And remember, Pluto is in Capricorn and it's very close to Venus, which we'll talk about that. That's more tomorrow's energy. But Sun semi-sextile Pluto. So be careful what you wish for on this day. You may be pleasantly surprised that your thoughts and your things that you've been wishing for suddenly start to take shape and fruition. So just be mindful of your what you wish. Be careful what you wish for. As good old grandma used to say too, be careful what you wish for. You may get exactly what you want and it might not be what you thought it would be. So again, this is a minor aspect, not a big day for shifts and changes, but you may recognize some small adjustment that you've made is paying off relatively quickly. It could just be an adjustment in anything personal. It's you, the Sun in Sagittarius. So And discipline pays off here. If you have been very disciplined in some changes, you might see that there's a payoff on this day. And then Friday, which is another minor aspect day. Remember, we talked about Pluto and Venus being very close in the sky. So this is Venus's, which is stationing to go retrograde, by the way, so that energy is magnified. So Venus is semi-sextile the Sun in Sagittarius on this day. So these are small adjustments in relationships, whether that be personal or money, and some positive results on that day relative. Again, small aspect day, not a big aspect. It's a small aspect. So these are going to be very small, simple shifts. Then on Saturday, we've got a full moon in Gemini. But before that, that's later in the evenings. Before that, we've got Mercury, which is in Sagittarius, just moved into Sagittarius, is going to square Chiron, which is retrograde in Aries. So I had this feeling yesterday, and I can describe it to you very, very clearly. It makes you feel very vulnerable or grief-stricken. You may be overcome with sadness or issues relative to depression. Know that this energy is moving relatively quickly. Don't allow it to get a hold on you. I use this energy to share blessings with those that are less fortunate than myself, and areas within myself that I felt needed to have healing or kind thoughts or words associated. I shared that with myself. So turned internal and spoke kindly to myself. Again, surrounded by love and compassion. We're dealing with Chiron here. So that's the wounded healer. So we're healing some wounds, and it's retrograde in Aries, so we could be pivoting back to our childhood days. Just be kind to yourself early in the morning. This energy is going to shift. It's Mercury, so it's moving. Then, like I mentioned, later in the night, I believe it's 11:30 Eastern time, we're going to have that full moon in Gemini, and that energy. This is not an eclipse. We've already gone through eclipse season. This is energy that'll be prominent for the next 2 to 3 weeks up until the next full moon. Truly, and when the next new moon kicks in, it'll start to shift and that energy be more prominent. But for the next 2 weeks, solid, but it could go 2 to 3 weeks. So full moon in Gemini. So this is ending something that is no longer necessary relative to your mindset or your communications. If this begins to feel overwhelming, especially in conjunction with the energy earlier in the day, practice healthy detachment. Remember, this is Gemini, right? Gemini energy can feel kind of scattered. So if you're finding yourself feeling pretty scattered, just healthy detachment. Separate yourself from that if you can't find a practical use, or it's difficult. I shouldn't say you can't. It's difficult for you to find a practical use of this energy. Practice healthy detachment. So separate yourself from whatever it is that is stoking that fire. There could be some emotional truths that come to light. Again, remember, we've got Mercury and Chiron involved here. So some emotional truths that are shared by someone else to you that creates creates what you would hope to be a compassionate response in yourself. That's 5-dimensional use of this energy. So make sure that you'll be able to see both sides, because again, this is Gemini. So be mindful of yourself, be mindful of others, and then just let the emotions flow as they need. This is a full moon, so it could be some emotional aspects as well. Now, we've got Neptune is also squaring this full moon, so please be aware that you may not have all the information, or the way you're seeing things may not be real clear. So if you are confused or disappointed, follow your intuition. Drop into your heart-centered consciousness, but most importantly, use your intuition to be your compass on this day. One good thing is we have Jupiter is trine this full moon. So Jupiter is leaving Aquarius. So there's a couple of aspects that are coming into play before Jupiter leaves Aquarius and jumps into Pisces at the end of the month. So these are alignments that are positive. They're very optimistic. We've got Jupiter here. So it is, positivity that comes from or springs out from some of these energies that you're feeling, whether it's Mercury and Chiron or the full moon in Gemini itself, that there's energy within that is going to bring positivity to your situation. And there'll be, an option that you can select that resonates with the 5-dimensional awareness. Take that option. And also, overall, when I look at all the energy for this day, be it, Mercury in Chiron, the full moon in Gemini, we will find it very easy to allow ourselves to just let go. You know what? I'm just going to let go. I'm not in charge anyway. I am going to surrender to what is. And by the time I hit the pillow last night, that's exactly where I was. I'm going to surrender to whatever this energy is and see where it leads me. And that was a very positive, healing thing for me to do. So if you find yourself overwhelmed with this energy, being an energetically sensitive person, if you find yourself getting overwhelmed, practice healthy detachment and just know that surrendering, there's huge power in surrendering as well. So then on Sunday, we have the sun, which is in Sagittarius, is going to sextile Jupiter in Aquarius. So this is very charitable energy, very positive, generous energy. So by the time you wake up on Sunday after this full moon in the Mercury Chiron square earlier in the day, you will have morphed into a much lighter, happier environment that sees you wanting to feel charitable in many ways. Now, this is also the day that Venus is going to go retrograde officially. Venus entered shadow the end of last month. So it's time for us to, Venus goes retrograde every 18 months. And there have been a lot of changes, as we can well note, since Venus was retrograde. So now it's time for us to review, revise, reconnect, rearrange anything relative to what Venus stands for, which is love, money, relationships. And we are going to be exploring deficiencies or cracks in that foundation. Remember, Venus is retrograde in Capricorn. So Capricorn's all about foundational components for relationships, be it love, be it money relationship, your relationship with money, work, co-workers, all of that. So those foundations, any deficiencies are coming up for review. And the last time we made this shift was about 18 months ago. So if you, like I said, if you can imagine, go back 18 months, holy smokes, have we seen some changes. So now we're going to be taking a look at the money and the relationship piece of this and looking at any deficiencies so we can say, the big question here is, do I love it? Remind yourself, do I love it? As these things are popping up, do I love it? Is it time for me to discard and allow myself to gravitate towards things that are more aligned with my greater good relative to love and money? From a foundational aspect, does it match where I want to be? Again, do I love it? When a situation pops up, do I love it? Does it serve my greater good or does it not? So these are the things that are going to be popping up over the next, this retrograde season, which ends the end of January, the 29th, I believe. But Venus will be in shadow until March 1st. So we'll be going through this review process for a little bit of time here. And you will also notice, we talked about this in the last video, that she is going to pass over, Venus is going to pass over in some instances 2 or 3 times these ideas or ideals relative to love and money so that they can be reviewed time and time again over the course of the next few weeks so we can come to a conclusion, hold on to, root in, and engage a new foundation that matches with our greatest good for the next 18 months. So think about what you can let go of during this retrograde cycle that will allow the new to come in that aligns with your greater good. So dysfunctional foundations aren't going to sit anymore relative to love and money. Okay? Well, that's all I have for you this week. Thank you so much for joining in. I really appreciate it. If you have any comments or questions, please post them in the comment box below. If you liked this video, please do like it. And if you would like to join me in this massive crusade to share the message of ascension with others, please do share this video. Thank you so much for for joining me today. Have a fabulous week. Namaste.